Hello, and welcome to your Security Awareness and Training session. My name is Brian Schrift, and I'm a Certified Information Systems Security Professional, and I'll be providing your training. I'm going to do my best not to bore you, as IT security and protecting your data go hand in hand. If you don't believe me, just read today's news. I'm sure you'll find at least one article related to an IT security incident where private information was compromised, but most likely you'll find quite a few. Security awareness and training is the process of educating employees on computer security and good computing practices. In this training video, we'll review a number of security threats to your organization, along with the steps we take as IT professionals and the steps you can take as educated staff to reduce those threats. In this training video, we'll cover the following topics. So we'll start our training by very briefly covering what information security is. The primary responsibility of an IT security professional is to ensure the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of IT systems. But what does that mean? In plain English, we want to keep your data private. We want to ensure your data is accurate, which includes no accidental changes or alterations. And we always want you to be able to access your data when you need to. In a nutshell, we want to ensure you can securely do what you need to do when you want to do it with your IT systems. All of this occurring in the background without you noticing. So why is this relevant to you? Because you are a vital component in helping us to do our job. Employees are one of the most important lines of defense we have against attacks. No matter how much technology and automated controls we put in place, people are still our best control. It's people who use the systems as intended. It's people who follow the policies and procedures in place. And it's people who are vigilant when checking email, not to click on that fishy looking email. At the end of the day, it's people who are our best safeguard to ensure the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of our systems. Defense in depth is a security strategy for fending off attacks. It involves deploying multiple defenses or walls to make it harder for attackers to be successful. For example, for someone to email me a virus, it first has to pass through a firewall, which would scan it for viruses. That's defense 1. It would pass through SpamTitan, our email server, which checks it for spam and scans it with 2 different antivirus systems, defenses 2, 3, and 4. Then it would be downloaded to my computer where my antivirus program, Webroot, would scan it again, defense 5. Then the most important defense kicks in, me. I like relating security to your home. Locking the doors before you go to bed is like having an antivirus program on your computer. When it comes to security, you want your home to be like a castle, which is what defense in depth helps to achieve. Locking your doors are a great first step, but think about all the precautions you're now putting in place at your home. You have fire alarms, carbon monoxide detectors, fire extinguishers strategically placed, you have an alarm system, maybe even video surveillance. All of these controls help to keep your home safe. We want your IT systems to have these same protections. We want it to be a fortress. After all, what is an attacker most likely to successfully break into? A house with a simple lock or a fortress? Ultimately, lax IT security increases the likelihood of experiencing a data breach. But you don't have to be a large company to suffer an embarrassing and costly data breach. They happen to small businesses as well. We all remember the Target data breach of 2013 as one of the first major breaches that gained national attention. This breach affected over 40 million customers and cost Target over $252 million, not to mention the reputational damage. What you may not realize is that Target was compromised through its HVAC contractor, FISO Mechanical Services from Western Pennsylvania, which could be classified as a small business. So considering a small business was involved in one of the largest data breaches of the past decade, small businesses need to be concerned. In this section, we'll discuss physical security. We're going to talk about some of the physical security measures that are put in place to protect IT systems. To protect against unauthorized access to data, one of the first lines of defense is locks. Locks on your building, locks on your file cabinets, locks on your office doors. If you have locks, it's best to use them to help protect your data. We've seen way too many passwords written down on Post-it notes and stuck to a monitor, or cleverly hidden under a keyboard. If you need to write down your password, please keep it in a secure location. Social engineering is the act of coaxing information out of people in various ways in an attempt to learn more about your organization so they're better able to attack it. We've actually had a technician walk into the wrong office building with a new firewall and ask the receptionist where the firewall was because he had a new one to install in order to fix their internet issues. After all, who doesn't have internet issues? He was allowed in and sat down at a computer only to figure out a few minutes later that he was at the wrong location. In addition to traditional locks, there are a number of other items which your organization can use to help physically safeguard and protect your IT systems. We'll now move away from physical security and talk more about computer and network security and the different threats you should be familiar with. We're going to start off reviewing some of the more popular threats which exist in our current environment. Afterwards, we'll be discussing some of the controls in place to help protect you against these threats. While each of these threats are different, I'm going to lump them together into one category of malicious software with the intent of disrupting your IT systems. However, I've highlighted ransomware as that's a newer and increasingly growing threat. Ransomware, often heard discussed with the CryptoLocker virus, is an attack in which your data is encrypted. However, you don't know the password. The password is provided only if you pay the attacker a sum of money, often via Bitcoin, which is an untraceable digital currency. In the example shown above, an LA hospital paid out $17,000 to an attacker for the password. We're now going to scroll through some examples of various threats which exist when browsing websites. The first, which is a fake pop-up window. This comes in various shapes and sizes, but ultimately a website displays a pop-up which mimics a legitimate security program that may be displayed on your computer. The goal is to have you click on the pop-up, which would then trigger an infection. Many free online games aren't necessarily free. Oftentimes you're paying with the disclosure of your privacy, or your system gets infected with malware to track what you're doing in an effort for someone to better target ads towards you. A number of years ago, Java and Flash plugins were needed to deliver advanced functionality through the web browser. Today, web developers can create much of that functionality without having to use these plugins. However, many older systems and sites may still use these plugins, requiring you to do so as well. Unfortunately, Java and Flash seem to continually be releasing security patches to fix vulnerabilities. Some of these patches can be quite critical, fixing security holes which allows attackers to take control of your computer. If you're in a situation where you require Java or Flash for web-based systems you access, we just must ensure that they stay up to date to keep you as safe as possible. Ideally, we'll want to not use these programs if we don't need to. Many organizations are starting to restrict third-party email services, such as Yahoo, Hotmail, AOL, Gmail, etc., due to the increased amount of threats which occur via email. In particular, phishing, which we'll talk about here in a bit. By accessing personal email using a corporate computer, you may inadvertently open up the organization to additional risk, as they have less control over these resources. Many sites use ads provided by third parties. A major problem with this is that these ads aren't always vetted. Some ads can be embedded with malware, which can then infect the reader's computer. I once received a call from a client who said his computer was severely slow and was experiencing pop-ups. Checking his browsing history, the only site he had been on that morning was his Yahoo Fantasy Football. Yahoo, a reputable site, wouldn't infect him with malware. However, the third-party ads they integrate with may have. We're now going to focus specifically on email threats, starting with what I'm going to refer to as attachment garbage. This lumps together all the different threats which arrive via your inbox as an attachment. And while many different antivirus and anti-spam systems are in place to protect you, these threats can change so frequently that it's hard for antivirus and anti-spam systems to keep up. We can literally scan a file for viruses and it's reported clean, then 15 minutes later, scan it again and the virus is detected. That's how quickly things can change. When it comes to email attachments, be 110% sure the sender of the email is legitimate. If it's Christmas time and you receive an email from UPS regarding a shipment notification, but you haven't ordered anything, don't open attachment. It's most likely a virus. When it comes to email attachments, better safe than sorry is the motto. Just remember, if you delete a legitimate email, it can always be resent very easily. But if your system gets infected, there's no telling how much damage could occur. Phishing is an email attack in which the attacker masquerades as a trusted source, sending fraudulent emails in an attempt to elicit personal information from the recipient. This is in order to gain access to their digital life. There are many examples of phishing emails, which may include an infected UPS shipment notification with attached PDF, a PayPal or bank account security concern email, which requests you click a link that then takes you to an infected web page or site to further elicit login credentials, or a Nigerian prince wishing to wire you money by asking you for your bank account information, or a number of different requests which you've probably seen. While some phishing emails are easily identifiable as fraudulent, such as the Nigerian prince written in broken English, others may not be as noticeable, such as the email we sent our clients. I encourage you to visit phishingourclients.com to read how we sent out the above phishing email to our clients and phished them for their account credentials. This phishing research study was successful in gathering over 150 individuals' account credentials. Here's an example of how you can simply and easily validate a link in an email using Outlook. Simply leave your mouse cursor over the link and it will display where the link is actually taking you to. Many other email clients offer you similar options, and you can always right-click to view the properties of a link to see where it's actually sending you. In this case, a fraudulent website. When you're on a secured site, such as a banking site or sites which sensitive information is transmitted, please note the website address. It should have an HTTPS at the beginning of the address, the S indicating that the website is secured, your data encrypted. Please remember that IT changes daily. I had originally had language in the prior slide discussing Java and Flash to recommend Chrome, as Chrome supports Flash without having to install the Flash plugin. Literally, while I was recording this presentation, this article was sent to me noting that Chrome will no longer support Flash. Again, please be mindful that security does change daily and that you should keep current on changing IT security trends. For more information on this, you can always visit our news website, follow us on Facebook or LinkedIn. By now, you should no longer be using a computer with Windows XP due to it being unsupported and unpatched, which leaves it open for security risks. Now that we've covered a number of threats, we're going to discuss some of the protections in place to help protect you from these threats. Phishing is the #1 security threat in existence today. And if you've read our research study on phishing, you'll know why. We use and recommend SpamTitan to help keep our inboxes clean of garbage. SpamTitan provides a number of email protections, including antivirus scanning by two separate systems, Kaspersky and Clam. Additionally, its anti-spam technology quarantines emails on the server for your review, so they never make it to your inbox. All organizations should be utilizing an anti-spam technology to help keep their email cleaner. But please remember, there are no technologies that keep you safe from everything. The best defense against phishing is your common sense, and to take those extra few moments to review your email instead of instantly clicking on the questionable email or attachment. Many small businesses may use the firewall provided by their ISP or a firewall purchased at the local Best Buy or Staples. The problem with these types of firewalls are that they only provide one form of protection, the firewall. When you look at business-grade devices, such as Dell SonicWalls, they consider themselves network security appliances. In that, they are a firewall, but they also provide a number of security services, such as protection from viruses and spyware, protection from hackers, and protection from botnets. They can also provide blocking services, such as the ability to block access from foreign countries. This is important as much hacking is done from outside of our borders. You can also enable content filters, which can be used to block access to various websites, such as adult content, games, and more. By now, everyone knows they should have a security product installed locally on their computer to protect them against threats. However, you must ensure it's working properly and is being properly managed. We utilize and recommend Webroot for our antivirus and spyware protection. Not only is it a great product, but it uses heuristic-based method of detecting and preventing threats. This complements the antivirus and spyware protection found in SonicWalls, which uses McAfee's signature-based detection. This provides our clients with two different types of antivirus and spyware protection. Or utilizing the term we used earlier, we're starting to build defense in depth or multiple layers of protection. The objective of a password is to trick a person and trick a computer. Your password shouldn't be easily guessable. A password policy is very important for IT security. Our password policy requires you to change your password regularly. Depending upon the system, you may need to change your password every 60, 90, or 180 days. Our recommendation being every 60 to 90 days. Your password is required to be complex, meaning that it contains 3 out of 4 types of characters, upper and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. While passwords only have to be 8 characters in length traditionally, some systems are now requiring password phrases. Password phrases, while initially scare most people, are actually much easier to remember and enter. An example of a password phrase is "the sky is purple!" Phrases are easier to remember and type because they're made up of words and punctuation you use daily. So while initially, when we say that your password must be 14 characters and people give us the death stare, it's really not that bad. Microsoft releases security patches on the second Tuesday of each month, affectionately known as Patch Tuesday. While sometimes there are adverse reactions to these patches, it is important that systems are patched as these patches fix known vulnerabilities and exploits. We utilize Proactive, our IT management software, to manage security patch deployment for our clients. Our policy is to approve patches for our internal systems immediately and for our clients the following Sunday. This allows us to test them on our systems first, as well as read any tech blogs to see if there were any bad patches released. While not foolproof, this does help in stopping the deployment of a known bad patch. Many organizations have external access to their IT systems, oftentimes through a VPN, remote desktop server or terminal server, Outlook web access, or other forms of secure remote connectivity. An account lockout policy is critical for stopping attackers from continuously guessing your password with no repercussions. Account lockout policies vary by organization, but typically consist of a number of failed logins, such as 5, with a certain time period, such as 5 failed logins within the past hour. If that occurs, then your account is locked out for a certain time frame or indefinitely, depending upon the security requirements in place at your organization. As a managed IT client, our clients are subscribed to our management software, Proactive, or the little green P. We require this software as it provides a number of features to help us maintain a secure computing environment for our clients and better manage their systems. When you delete a file, it's not really deleted, which is why it's so important that when old equipment is replaced, it's properly disposed of. And we're not just talking about computers and servers. Anything with a drive that contains data needs disposed of. Many people may overlook the copier in the corner, which scans and prints all sorts of sensitive documents. Guess where they may be stored during transit? A hard drive. If you're an orthodontist taking pictures of before and after smiles, those photos of your patients are being stored to a flash drive in your camera. And don't forget the thumb drive, which should be encrypted, that you copy sensitive documents to so you can work from home. Each of these drives, including your computers and servers, must be disposed of properly so you don't leave your data at risk when you put it on eBay. Even something as simple as angling your monitor away from the public can help with IT security. Also avoid shoulder surfing, which is someone creeping over your shoulder, peeking at what you're doing on your computer screen. You should not connect any unauthorized devices to your computer. Certain industry may have rules and regulations in place as to how data can be securely transported, especially how it's safeguarded. Please follow the rules which are in place, as they're there for a reason. We don't often recommend locking down systems so they can only be used to do certain business functions, but we can. Also, please remember, when using an organization's asset, such as your computer, it's not really your computer. There is no expectation of privacy. If needed, we can track everything done on your computer. We can read every email, monitor every click. Trust me, we really don't want to. There are many other items on our plate which we'd much rather address, but we can if we need to. In our next section, we'll discuss what some of you may be watching this training on, a mobile device. Please remember that if your smartphone or tablet is connected to the office email server, you must ensure you follow the Bring Your Own Device or mobile device policy. While many of the security requirements are forced automatically upon connection, your device must have a password and must be encrypted. In the event that your device is lost or stolen, you must notify your superior and/or IT support immediately so precautions can be taken to attempt to remotely locate, lock, or wipe your device. Your organization should have a Bring Your Own Device policy and a social media policy. A BYOD policy outlines the organization's terms and conditions for allowing you to connect your personal device to the organization's IT systems. Please read and understand this document before connecting your device to the organization, as it will most likely outline its ability to wipe your device remotely. I also encourage all organizations to have a social media policy, which I refer to as the common sense policy. This policy is simply a reminder that when you post things to social media, there is no undo button. You've released it to the world. Also, remember that selfie that you take is most likely taken with a high-resolution camera. And it's very easy to be able to download the full photo and see private or confidential information in the foreground. I recommend everyone read our Selfies and Social Media article, which can be found on precisionbs.com under Education. Next, we'll cover a few tips for protecting your mobile devices, starting with using a password, not a PIN. When setting up a password for your device, instead of the typical 4-character PIN, set up a real password. Many of today's devices have fingerprint recognition, so you typically only have to enter that password when the device reboots, which simplifies unlocking your device and allows you to use a more secure password. Fake apps do exist, which are more prevalent to Android devices as the Google Play Store does not have the strict vetting process that Apple does. This in no way means all Apple apps are valid, so no matter what device you have, ensure you're downloading apps from authorized app stores and look for ratings to help confirm validity of the app. And never jailbreak your device. Jailbreaking is primarily done on Apple devices to remove restrictions put in place in the operating system. Not only does jailbreaking void warranties, but opens your device to compromise as the original safeguards are no longer in place. Mobile devices have operating systems just like your computer does. And, just like your computer, updates are released to add additional functionality and to fix security issues. So it's important to keep your device updated at all times. If you have old apps on your device that you no longer use, delete them. Not only are they taking up space, but if you're not keeping the app updated, it could have a security issue that puts you at risk. Our next section is going to cover teleworking, which is working outside of the office remotely. Additional security precautions must be taken when teleworking, as you're not in the safety of our controlled office environment. To avoid having your laptop stolen, never leave it unattended, even if you're just quickly using the restroom at the local Starbucks. Also, if you must leave it in your car, ensure it's not visible. Locking it in the trunk where it's out of sight is best. A virtual private network, or VPN, is a way to connect to a network securely from a remote location. VPNs have been around for a while now and are quite common. The primary purpose of a VPN is to provide a secure and encrypted method for you to access your network resources remotely. However, with all the changes in technology, there are a number of ways you're now able to access network resources, and we'll highlight just a few. A remote desktop server, which is also referred to as a Citrix server or terminal server, is used to securely connect to a server from outside of the office. Unlike a VPN, where you connect your device to the organization's network, with a remote desktop server, you simply remotely work on the desktop of that server, which has all of your applications. Remote desktop servers are often preferred as no data is actually leaving the network, and they can be accessed from various devices such as iPads. Outlook Mobile Access is the technology which allows you to securely connect your smartphone or tablet to your corporate email server. There are also many different types of remote access software, such as LogMeIn, GoToMyPC, ScreenConnect, and many others, which allow you to remotely control your computer from an outside device. When connecting to a public wireless network, such as Starbucks, Panera, or a hotel, please exercise additional caution if the wireless connection does not indicate it's encrypted. Please ensure your virus protection is up to date and your firewall is not disabled. When on public Wi-Fi, security will be in place for your connection into the office. However, it's best to ensure the connection is encrypted to prevent any malicious intent from others around you. And make sure you keep an eye out for those shoulder surfers as well. In our final section, we'll talk about a few ways to secure data using encryption. Any data which leaves the organization should be encrypted. This includes laptops, thumb drives, backup tapes, mobile phones, and anything else which may contain sensitive or confidential data. This is vital to ensure security if the device is lost or stolen, which can easily happen. Email, by design, is unencrypted. There is no expectation of privacy when you're sending an email outside of your organization, unless you're using a third-party service which specifically encrypts the email between you and the recipient. By default, plain old email is unencrypted. I would like to thank you for watching our security awareness and training video, and I hope I wasn't too boring. From everyone at Precision Business Solutions, we hope you have a happy and secure computing day.